talked about getting here for quite a long time, but I have finally made it to the Cliffs of Moher in County Clare, which is on the west coast of Ireland on the Wild Atlantic Way. And what a place, what a location. Like, I was a little bit worried because I've shot some really cool dramatic cliffs before, and I've shot Sleeve League, which is in one of my last vlogs, and they're like these massive huge cliffs, and these are only about the third of the height of them, I think. And I was kind of scared that I was going to be a little bit underwhelmed when I got here, but I have to say I'm really impressed. Conditions are verging on being almost too rough, which I never thought I'd probably say. On the way down, we were like, I think about 3 miles away from here, and we couldn't see anything. Just really low cloud, mizzle, rain, obviously wind, but thankfully it's cleared a bit. We've got really good views of the cliffs, and on the horizon there is a break. There is a lot of brightness just above the horizon, so it's probably an hour and a half before sunset, and I think this is going to be interesting to see what we can get today. Certainly it's going to be a day that's probably going to test me, and I think even using grads, because we're shooting pretty much into the sun for a good part of it, I think I may be probably bracketing exposure, so I'll probably set up my base exposure and then kind of take a shot of the base exposure, then take one, maybe either a stop over or 2 stops over, and then do the same, a stop under and 2 stops under, and then try and blend them together, because the dynamic range at the minute is just bonkers. And I just think even with grads, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to keep all the detail in the highlights and the shadows, so we will see. Okay, I feel that I kind of have to address an issue here, and that is motivation for landscape photography. Now, I've talked about this a bit in one of my last vlogs when I was down in Connemara, but like this today, there was a point where I really could have turned the car. We've driven 5 hours down to here. We left at 8:30 this morning, and actually just over 5 hours, and we've come down for about 2 hours of photography, and we're driving home tonight. And no joke, for about the last half hour we just hit this horrible rain, this horrible mizzle. Visibility was so bad. This was not what it was saying on the forecast, and I'm just like, what's the point in this? Seriously, this is just a complete waste of time. First time here, somewhere I've always loved to come, and we were planning to come tomorrow, but the forecast changed and it looked like tomorrow was going to be horrifically bad and loads of rain, but it looked better for today. So I'm obviously, like, you're doubting yourself and you're saying, oh, this has been a complete flop, this is the worst decision ever. But look over there, see that? That is what we are after. That's what we've came for. If the sun gets below that horrible, where is it? The horrible thick blanket of cloud. It's pretty much, I'd say 90% cloud except for that little gap at the horizon, and I just really hope this kicks off. This morning when we were leaving, we had the absolute most amazing sunrise. The sky was literally on fire, and it was so cloudy. There didn't seem to be any breaks, but somehow the sun was just lighting up. Oh, the sky was amazing. So could this be the perfect finish today? Could we get the same kind of thing for sunset tonight that there was this morning? Here's hoping. But I think what I'm going to do now is just have a walk along. There's a couple of cool places I think up here. I'm going to just dander up, have a little scout around. I think I found a couple of compositions just further down that way where I was at the start, and then possibly from here. It's one of those places where it's probably quite hard to get a unique shot here in a way, because compositions are maybe slightly limited. I don't know. As I say, it's my first time here, and a lot of the stuff you see from here is similar in composition, but there's maybe a reason for that. So you're kind of hoping that the weather conditions is going to make your image look a little bit different from everybody else's. And I think tonight is like definitely a good example where if this whole thing kicks off, we could get some really cool, hopefully cool light and some really cool colours in the sky. Finally have some light. Look at that. Whoa, here we go. Look. Yes. Complete nightmare to try and expose for, mind you. What I've actually done now, I've earlier on, whenever the sun wasn't out, I was shooting really wide, so shooting like 16mm. What I've done now is I'm into about 28mm, and I'm just picking out this detail here. So I'm only going kind of to the edge of the frame, just before the sun gets into it, just to try and get my exposure balanced a wee bit more, because I'm literally just shooting bang into the sun and it's just so bright at the minute. But there's some really beautiful light hitting the cliffs here, and I was up there, absolutely amazing up there, so I'm going to go up there in a wee minute, but I'm just grabbing a few shots here. So I'm pretty much, what I'm doing, I'm trying to expose for the highlights here, so the image is looking quite dark, but what I quite like about it is that I've got the light here, then I've got a bit of shadow, then I've got kind of like backlighting coming from the cliffs where there's obviously spray blowing up. So I'm hopefully, I think I'm getting quite a lot of layers here, which I think is going to work quite nicely, but it's going to probably be quite a different shot to what I'm maybe used to shooting, but I think it's going to work quite nicely. And the sky is clearing pretty well, so who knows, we may get some nice colours later. But so far, Cliffs of Moher, you have not disappointed. Okay, so it's been a little bit of a roller coaster in regards to the old weather today. Pretty much, as I say, when we arrived, it was brutal, horrible. We now have almost, I reckon, 60% clear skies. We have the sun, just a beautiful big orange ball, just starting to dip near the horizon. And the colours in the sky are kind of like those really lovely pastel-y kind of colours. So my composition, the frame, I've kind of got it set up that I've got about a third sky, so the sun it's kind of over in the right hand corner. We've got a C stack down here, which is sort of coming down on the rule of thirds. We've got the bay, the whole kind of line of the cliffs sweeping around from the left, and then I've got this really cool foreground down here, which is all like really like jagged outcrops of rocks and stuff, which is hopefully leading the eye sort of in the way, so it's kind of creating loads and loads of depth. But it's going to be really interesting to see if this sky starts to take on, because there's enough high clouds and the moon is coming up actually as well above the cliffs. So game on for this one. I really do think that this is going to light up. But yeah, first time here, absolutely delighted with what I've got so far. Conditions earlier were really extreme, so it was really difficult because it was like shooting into really strong sun, which I don't normally do. But at the minute there's enough like kind of like a diffused cloud that's just creating the sun as a nice ball, and we're kind of getting that nice silhouette effect, which is cool as well. My exposure time, I'm shooting in and around, let me see, 15 seconds at f11. I'm shooting at ISO 100. Last shot of the night. Oh, was down there, way down there, somewhere, down there. Colours started to spread. Rushed back up to where we were there, just for one last shot. We've got orange and blues in the sky. We've got a crescent moon. I don't even think this is focusing, let me see. There we go, where are we? Yeah, so orange in the sky, blue in the sky, crescent moon, 20-second exposure, f11. Job done. I'm so unfit, I'm knackered. But wow, west of Ireland has not disappointed. Now for the 5-hour drive home. Do you know what? Conditions like this, we could have left just after sunset, but we just stayed and we stayed and we stayed, and just out of nowhere, the sky just got more intense with colour. Wow. Love it, absolutely love it.